Hey everyone, so let's take a quick look of the practice test that you were given. I'm gonna record maybe 2 or 3 videos, it depends how long it will take me, but it should be around that, so make sure that you check the other videos so that you can also get a full review of the practice test. So let's go with number 1. So if you have to find whether these numbers are a function, all you have to do is just look at the x values. So we have -1, we have 0, we have 5, and then we have 8. So those are your x values. If you want to know if this is a function, then you have to look at the x's and make sure that they don't repeat. So we have 1, 0, 5, and 8. None of them is being repeated, so yes, this is a function. You will do the same thing with number 2. So your x values will be -4, -3, 0, 3, and 5. So do you see any of these numbers being repeated twice or maybe 3 times? No, so that means that also number 2 is a function. So now if you want to find the domain in the range, all you have to do is domain is identify the x values. So my domain is going to be all the x's, right? And then my range is going to be all the y values, -7, 5, 0, and -2. So those are going to be my domain and range. Now please keep in mind one little thing here is don't do this, please. Don't say, just for number 1, don't say that the domain goes from the lowest number to the highest number, which is from -1 to +8. Don't do that, that will be totally wrong. So don't say just -1 is the lowest value and 8 is the highest number that I have, so that's gonna be my domain. That would be wrong. So please don't do this. Don't try to use shortcuts. That's not how it works, but you have to use all the x values and all the y values if you wanna express the domain the right way. So for number 3, you just have to use that function, right? So you're gonna use that function and then you're gonna replace all the x's by the number that you were given. So you're gonna replace this x, that x, and this other x. They will be replaced by 2. So when you do that and you do the math, it's going to be at the end 0 divided by 3, that's going to be 0. So 0 is your end result. When you get to number 4, all you have to do is the same thing. Just replace all x's, this one, and that one. Replace all x's by -x. So by doing so, you will end up with this, 3x squared plus 4x minus 3. Now take a look at this. We have -x here, but -x is squared. That means that technically it's the same as saying like -x times another -x. And you know that when you multiply two negative values or two negative numbers, that they turn into a positive value. So 3 times -x squared is the same as 3x squared. So that negative goes away because of the exponent is an even number. So that's pretty much all you need to know here, and then yes, that will be your final answer. So for number 5, okay, so number 5, all you have to do is just find f plus g. Let me go back here. If you want, you can stop the video right here, and then you can like write this down on your notebook anywhere you want, because pretty much this is all you need to know in order to do number 5 and number 6. So if you don't have those, please take note of them, because that's like the formulas and how you set them up. So number 5, it means just f plus g. So f equals this, 2 minus 7x, and g equals -5x plus 7. So this is how it goes. F plus g of x is the same as f of x plus g of x. So f of x equals 2 minus 7x right here, and then plus my g of x, which is -5x plus 7 right here. So you just do the math, you add -7x plus -5x, that will give you -12x, and then 2 plus 7, that will give you +9. If you have to find the domain, I mean, just look at these expressions right here. You can tell right away that there is no restriction. So if there is no restriction, this means that all real numbers can be used. So domain is all real numbers. For number 6, it will be now f times g. So going back here, f times g, this is how you set it up. F times g of x is the same as f of x times g of x. Going back, so f of x, f times g of x is the same as f times g. So all you have to do is take this expression here, you write it here, and then times g of x, which is 5x minus 1. You take it here, then you set it equal, and then all you have to do here is you have to FOIL it, and then you get this at the end. Once again, once you get here, you can see that there is no restriction, so right away that means the domain is going to be all real numbers since there is no restriction. For number 7, you can tell right away this is not a function. Again, if you want to know if a graph belongs to a function, all you have to do is just draw a horizontal line. So let me, okay, like this. All you have to do is just draw a horizontal line. Have to keep it as straight as possible. It's kind of hard. So you draw your line. If that line touches more than one point, then that does not, it's not a function. That's all you need to know. If you draw a line at any given point and that line will touch it more than once, then that means this is not a function, right? Because it's gonna cross here, and it's also gonna touch the graph right here. So if you draw that line, you can tell right away it's not a function. So let me give you a few other examples. Let's say that we have this one. Here, if you draw a vertical line, yes, it's a function because it only touches once. Can you see it? It's only going to touch it once, so yes, this is a function. If you get here, this one is kind of confusing for most people, but if you do the same, you will see that that line only touches only once, so yes, this is a function as well. And this one will be the same. It's a function because you're only going to cross the graph only once. And then here, that one is it's also another function because it only crosses the graph only once. So that's the first 7 questions. Let's go for the next ones on the next video.